Didn't expect you to come knocking, Batman. You usually stay in your city, keep your demons close, let the world burn outside Gotham's borders. So what brings you here, to me of all people? You know what I am, what I do. If you came looking for morality, you picked the wrong address. So tell me, why does Gotham's Shadow care to ask Frank Castle about corruption?
You've lived inside the filth, and you've burned it without hesitation. Gotham drowns in corruption every night. Police bought, judges blind, politicians feeding the very criminals they denounce in public. I don't need theories, I need perspective. You kill it at the root, one bullet at a time. I cage it, I expose it, I break it, but it grows back. So I ask ye, is corruption a wound that heals, or a disease that only dies with fire?
It's a disease, and it spreads faster than anyone wants to admit. You can't scare corruption, you can't reform it with lectures in alleys. Men who profit from rot will always find another way to line their pockets. You throw them in cells, they buy their way out. You beat them bloody, they hire lawyers. You think you're keeping the line clean, but you're just trimming weeds. I pull weeds by the roots. You call it murder. I call it hygiene.
Hygiene implies cleanliness, but your methods leave more stains than they remove. Every body you leave behind becomes justification for more violence, more distrust, more chaos disguised as order. Corruption is not only individuals, Frank. It's systems. It's culture. Killing one man rarely dismantles the structure that birthed him. I fight not to cut weeds, but to poison the soil they feed on. Fear, exposure, accountability. My way is slower, yes, but it aims at permanence.
Permanence is an illusion. Systems protect themselves. You think accountability exists. Look at your city. How many times has a politician stood trial only to walk free? How many mobsters serve short sentences and crawl back to power? I've seen too much to believe in your slow cures. Corruption laughs at exposure. Fear works until someone braver shows up. But a bullet to the skull, that shuts the game down permanently. No bribes, no comebacks, just silence.
Silence is not the same as justice. You silence a man, the next rises in his place, often more violent, more desperate to prove himself. Kill one mob boss and another takes his chair within the week. I've seen it. Corruption isn't afraid of death, because men believe death is a risk worth taking. What they fear is consequence in life, humiliation, exposure, the loss of everything they built while they still breathe. That fear shapes behavior longer than a grave ever will.
Fear fades. Consequence fades. Corpses don't. I'm not here to pretend my way is pretty. It's not, but it's effective. A dead man doesn't bribe a cop, doesn't poison a jury, doesn't sell dope to a kid. I've stripped entire networks to their bones because the heads don't grow back when you crush them right. You talk about symbols, Batman, but symbols don't bleed. These bastards should. That's the only language corruption respects.
And yet in your war, how many innocents bleed alongside the guilty? Collateral is the word you use to justify it. I've spent my life ensuring no child suffers what I suffered. No life is stolen as mine was. Killing corrupt men may bring satisfaction, but it does not guarantee justice. Justice demands precision, patience, and endurance. It is not about whether they bleed, Frank. It is about whether the world they leave behind is less poisoned than before.
Patience is a fairy tale. While you wait, they infect another generation. While you brood on rooftops, they buy another judge. You think time is on your side, but time is their greatest ally. I won't wait for systems to fix themselves. I cut out rot before it spreads. Call it crude, call it bloody, but my war doesn't stall. You want legacies, I want corpses. And corpses don't pass on corruption.
Corruption does not die with flesh. It lives in ideas, in greed, in the cracks of society. You cut out the rot, but the roots remain untouched. You kill a man, another inherits his empire, and nothing truly changes. My way may not end it, but it exposes the machine, it forces light into darkness. Corruption thrives on despair and killing feeds despair. Restraint, even when it feels futile, is the only path that prevents us from becoming the very corruption we fight.
You want to save them. I don't. I accepted a long time ago that some worlds don't get better. They just get quieter when you silence the monsters. Maybe I am corruption in my own way, feeding the cycle. But at least my victims deserve it. You think restraint makes you cleaner, but you're still drowning in the same cesspool. Me, I burn it. That's my justice.
I will never accept justice as fire. Because fire does not discriminate, it consumes everything. I came here to understand, and I do. You see corruption as incurable, worthy only of execution. I see it as relentless, yes, but never beyond resistance. Our scars define us, Frank, but they do not dictate surrender. You silence it, I endure it. And maybe the world needs both wars. One to remind it of consequence, and one to remind it of restraint.